I'd also like to point out that up in Rock County, Wisconsin, possession of under 2.5 grams of cannabis has been reclassified a county misdemeanor. Carries no more penalty than a traffic ticket. They're doing the same thing in Stevenson County, Illinois, where their jail is too crowded.
How about Rockford?
Well, Rockford is another story. We have made a few inroads. I was live on WROK call-in radio with Prosecutor Logley, asking him for his opinion, and he said he had speculated on lesser penalties for marijuana offenders. In the past, he didn't feel that society was ready to condone it or accept it, and I asked him if he didn't think it would be better to put this money in the hands of the public trust rather than in the hands of organized crime and corrupt politicians. And he said I was making some good points and that intelligent people will disagree, so maybe we should just disagree this time as gentlemen and let it go at that. Well, it was pushing 5 o'clock and they wanted to finish up their radio show and go home. So I politely thanked them for the time, told them they'd be hearing more from me. And after the commercial, Prosecutor Logley asked Judge Gill, who was on the show, do you have any comment about legalizing marijuana? And Judge Gill said this: that is entirely in the realm of the legislature, and they are perfectly welcome to it. That's right, the legislature. That means that we have to vote and bring in a new breed of politicians whose main goal is to streamline government, is to save taxpayers' money, and is to serve their constituents back home. Not just to get reelected, not just to collect all those payoffs from the political action committees and a big business that wants to put politicians in and keep them in to protect their empires while they pollute to manufacture and pollute to dispose of. And that's something that hemp does not do. It's totally biodegradable. We could grow it in 3 staggered plantings all year long, plant only 6% of our farmland, and have enough hemp biomass and hemp seed oil to power up all of our homes, our factories, all of our diesel vehicles. The diesel engine was designed to run on hemp seed oil too. We have to stop air pollution or the world is not going to be a fit place to live. Everybody knows that, right? But what are we going to do about it? When you tell the people in the high places what to do about it, they say, well, for example, I was on the phone with a Chicago director of the American Medical Association. He was not aware that the AMA was misrepresented in the 1930s, that their doctor was excused from the House Ways and Means Committee hearings, and that the full Congress was lied to and told that they had the full support of the AMA. This guy from the AMA didn't know that. He says, I'm just a press release officer. I give out information that the AMA tells me to. If you want your information to be considered, you have to send it to the chairman of the Council on Scientific Affairs, and then they will evaluate and they will make their recommendation. Same thing went for the Food and Drug Administration in Washington. Our people were outside this guy's office picketing, and I just happened to call him that day. And he said that he understood that some people could realize therapeutic value from marijuana, and he felt that it should be prescribable. But it wasn't up to him to make that change. Everything had to work through the channels. Everything had to go through the legislature and then had to be passed on to the Food and Drug Administration, who then had to be passed on to the Drug Enforcement Administration, and so forth and so on. But we will make some changes because we do represent a voter base. Our numbers are growing. More of us are being registered to vote. More of us are concerned enough to go out and vote. We've shown that people who are in wheelchairs because of muscle spasms from multiple sclerosis can smoke marijuana and it cools them off. As far as the muscle spasms go, they're able to step up out of their wheelchair and walk around like a normal individual until the effects wear off and they start having muscle spasms and have to sit back in their wheelchair. Now show me a doctor who wants to keep lame people in their wheelchairs. Show me a politician who believes sick people should suffer. That's the question at hand today. You know, we call for decriminalization. That's like saying, okay, we smoke marijuana. We're ashamed of ourselves, but we don't want to go to jail. Well, that's not true. We're not ashamed of ourselves. There is no stigma attached to people who are social drinkers. None whatsoever. It's totally acceptable in our society to have a few beers. Well, why not a few joints? We've shown that alcohol and tobacco are killing 1,000 people a day, and there's not one documented death due to overdose from marijuana. There's not one documented death due to side effects from marijuana use. The only people who died from marijuana are the ones who got shot by the law enforcement agencies.